The film opens in 1937 with a scene where a vehicle arrives at an empty field containing a large rock. Two individuals step out of the vehicle and proceed to lift the rock, revealing a hidden sewer entrance. They descend into a military facility and observe a soldier through a two-way mirror. The soldier, while smoking marijuana, vividly expresses his grievances about the army, yet maintains a relaxed and content demeanor. The superior officer promptly terminates the operation and declares marijuana as unlawful. Fast forward to the current time, Dale Denton is in his car at present, tuning in to talk radio, smoking cannabis, and offering his guidance to listeners. As a process server, he travels between clients, donning various disguises to discreetly deliver legal documents and notices. During his break, he visits his 18-year-old girlfriend Angie at her high school, attempting to avoid joining her family for dinner, whom he has not yet met. In a conversation about this, a teacher requests his visitor's pass and engages in a confrontation with Dale, who responds in a vulgar manner, even gesturing rudely at the teacher multiple times. Only upon noticing Angie conversing with a handsome male student does Dale eventually agree to attend the dinner. Before leaving the school, he contacts Saul to arrange for more marijuana to be picked up. When he arrives at Saul's residence, Saul introduces him to Pineapple Express, a unique strain of marijuana obtained from his supplier Red. Saul persistently attempts to persuade Dale to stay, offering him a joint shaped like a cross that produces a special effect when all three ends are lit simultaneously. After they both take a puff, Saul inquires about Dale's occupation. Dale explains that he is about to serve legal documents to an individual named Ted Jones right after leaving Saul's place. Saul mentions that his supplier, Red, sources his products from a man named Ted Jones, joking that it would be amusing if they were the same person. Dale reaches Ted's residence and pauses to smoke a quick joint in his car. While smoking, he notices a police car pulling up behind him, prompting him to lower his head to avoid detection. A female police officer exits the vehicle and enters Ted's house with her gun drawn. Dale becomes anxious upon hearing gunshots and, as he glances up towards the bedroom, witnesses Ted and Carol, the cop, shooting an Asian man. Panicked, he attempts to depart hastily, accidentally colliding with Carol's police car and another vehicle before making his escape. In his hurry, he tosses his joint out of the car window. Ted and Carol are alerted by the noise and step outside to investigate. Ted takes a hit from the joint, exclaiming, "Pineapple Express." Upon arriving at Saul's place, Dale hesitates to enter as Saul is repeatedly buzzing the doorbell too quickly. After finally making it inside, Dale becomes overwhelmed and ends up vomiting on Saul's printer. Saul attempts to soothe Dale, mentioning how rare Pineapple Express is, which causes Dale to inquire if Saul is the sole source of it in town, to which Saul confirms. Dale starts to panic once more, leading them to frantically move around the apartment, trying to come up with a plan. Grabbing the weed, some snacks, they decide to leave in a hurry. While driving aimlessly, they choose a spot in the woods to stop and indulge in smoking. Saul reaches out to Red, informing him of their visit the following day at noon. Meanwhile, Red is not alone at his place as Ted has his men, Budlowski and Matheson, deliver news to him. Budlowski, a reserved Caucasian man, is married, while Matheson, a large African-American man and former bouncer from Knocked Up, teases Budlowski about losing his edge. In the woods, Dale and Saul start to panic. Paranoid about being tracked through their phones, they decide to destroy them. Dale smashes his phone against a rock, while Saul attempts to throw his at a tree but misses. As they search for Saul's phone, he hears something that spooks him, causing him to start running in fear. Dale follows his signal and dashes in the opposite direction. They both tumble repeatedly before reaching the car. Dale switches on the radio for some talk show chatter. The next morning, they wake up to discover they overslept until 4 p.m. Dale attempts to start his car, but the battery is dead, so they must trek through the forest. A comical scene unfolds as they smoke and dance in the woods. They thumb a ride to Red's place, where he invites them in for dessert. It's evident that he's been in a scuffle, claiming to have herpes, which disgusts Saul as they shared joints previously. Red mentions calling his wife, sparking suspicion in Dale, who takes the phone from him. Refusing to return it, Red hurls an ashtray at Dale, leading to a scuffle between them. In a scuffle, Dale overpowers Red and tosses the ashtray into the toilet. The altercation escalates as Saul joins in, resulting in the destruction of Red's home. Red locks himself in the bathroom, attempting to use the phone. Saul and Dale break down the door, causing Red to crash into the sink, breaking it, and trapping him under the door with Dale on top. Red calls for a brief break, causing Saul and Dale to pause momentarily, then resumes, flinging Dale off the door and dashing into the living room. In a final attempt to end the brawl, Dale forcefully propels Red headfirst into a wall. They use duct tape to secure him to his late grandfather's wheelchair and interrogate him. He provides information about Matheson and Budlowski and assures them he will assist in their escape. Shortly after, Matheson and Budlowski arrive at the door. In response, Dale and Saul flee through the rear exit and seek refuge in an alley. Without hesitation, Red informs Matheson and Budlowski, who inform Ted of the situation. Ted instructs them to eliminate Red, resulting in both of them shooting him in the abdomen before departing. Ted starts to speculate whether Dale is affiliated with the Asian adversaries stationed outside his residence. Realizing that Red may expose Angie to danger due to the possessions in his apartment, Dale and Saul rush to Angie's home. Upon their arrival, Dale enters looking disheveled and emitting an unpleasant odor. Angie expresses displeasure at his condition and tardiness, prompting her father to reach for his firearm. As Matheson and Budlowski are spotted by Saul outside, he rushes inside to warn Dale and Angie, only to be stabbed in the shoulder by Angie with a fork. Dale clarifies that Saul is the trustworthy drug dealer just before Angie's father begins shooting at them. Dale calms the situation and persuades them to vacate the premises before others arrive. He advises Angie to seek refuge in a motel across town under the alias Garagely. Dale and Saul spend the night concealed in a tree, engaging in conversation. Saul expresses his feelings to Dale, deeming him a valued friend. The following day, they make a decision to sell marijuana to earn some cash, so they sell a few small amounts to some high school students. While Saul goes to get them food, Dale lounges back and smokes. A passing police officer spots him and takes him into custody. She arrests him and notifies other officers, including Carol, of their whereabouts. He explains the situation to her, and she appears to trust him, asking for more details. Saul sees Dale in the police car's backseat and mistakenly believes the cop is Carol, so he causes a distraction while she is approaching. Saul throws himself onto her car and hurls cherry slushies at the windshield. When she steps out to check on the impact, Saul climbs into the driver's seat and reverses the vehicle. The officer starts shooting at them, with Carol attempting to ram them from behind, leading to a comical car chase. Unable to locate the wipers, Saul kicks the windshield with his foot, only to have it get stuck, resulting in him driving with his foot hanging out of the window. They manage to evade Carol by luring her into ramming several cars and flipping her own. Once they abandon the car, Dale calls Angie to check on her well-being. They argue and essentially end their relationship. Dale proposes to Saul that they quit smoking to be more alert of their surroundings. Saul disagrees, sparking a disagreement where Dale harshly informs Saul that they are not friends, upsetting Saul and causing them to part ways. Saul goes to the park and sheds tears as he eats a sandwich. Meanwhile, Dale reaches out to Angie, expressing his love for her and emphasizing her importance to him. She reciprocates his feelings, confessing her desire to marry him, which catches Dale off guard and prompts him to reassess the pace of their relationship. Angie becomes angry and hangs up on Dale. He then searches for the location of Saul's grandmother, who resides in a nearby retirement home. Saul visits the home and is unexpectedly met by Matheson and Budlowski. In an attempt to escape, he smashes a coffee pot onto Matheson's face but is restrained by Budlowski before he can flee. Dale arrives at the scene to find the police questioning Saul's grandmother and other residents. Realizing that Saul is in the company of Ted's associates, Dale heads to Red's residence. Inside, he discovers Red in the bathroom with noodles and a knife. Dale tries to motivate Red to help rescue Saul, but Red reveals he has been injured and is in critical condition. After a moment of contemplation, Red decides to reveal his hidden collection of firearms. They arm themselves and drive Red's Daewoo llamas to the farmhouse where Red cultivates marijuana, the same location featured at the beginning of the film. At the farm, Matheson shows a severe scar on his face and attempts to confront Saul. Budlowski intervenes and locks Saul in a room below, reminiscent of where the soldier was dealt with at the start of the movie. Dale and Red show up, but Red backs out and heads home. Dale enters and takes one of Ted's associates hostage in an attempt to exchange him for Saul. The plan fails when Budlowski shoots the man and forces Dale into the same room as Saul. While inside, they have a conversation and reconcile, much to Matheson's annoyance as he overhears from outside. When Matheson leaves, they try to free themselves from their bindings using the buckle of Dale's belt. The noise gives the impression they're engaging in intimate activities, which startles Matheson, leading to an attack from them. Matheson fires a shot at Dale, only to be shot by Saul in return. Dale survives but is wounded in the ear, akin to Evander Holyfield. They arm themselves with available firearms as the Asians assault Ted, Carol, and their group from above. A massive gunfight ensues. Carol shields Ted to allow him to descend and assess the situation, sharing a kiss before he moves down. Dale and Saul eliminate several of Ted's men. Dale assists Saul in climbing into an air duct, but Ted shoots at them before Dale can follow suit. Dale and Ted engage in a shootout, followed by a physical altercation. Ted attempts to bite Dale's ear but recoils upon realizing it is injured. In his moment of revulsion, Dale seizes the opportunity to overpower Ted. They utilize fire extinguishers, fluorescent lights, and pipes to assault each other. Just as Dale gains the upper hand, an Asian assailant throws a bomb in their direction. They flee to avoid it, but Ted is thrown into a wall and dies. Meanwhile, after Saul emerges from the vent, he returns inside the farmhouse and ends up battling Carol. They have a fierce fight, but eventually, Saul emerges as the victor. Just as he is about to defeat her, Budlowski fires a shot. Budlowski decides to go home to his wife instead of getting further involved. As he's leaving, Matheson shoots him, but before Matheson can target Saul, Red's Daewoo Llamas crashes into Matheson. Red starts celebrating, but Carol shoots him multiple times. Before Carol can shoot Saul, an explosion from below blows the car onto Carol, killing her. Dale climbs out and realizes his pants are on fire, so he removes them. He then rescues an unconscious Saul from the burning building. When Saul regains consciousness, they manage to escape just in time to witness the farmhouse explode. Surprisingly, Red crawls out, still alive. They celebrate their escape with breakfast at a nearby diner. Red jokes about probably dying, and as they reflect on their miraculous escape, he loses consciousness. Initially thinking Red is dead, they are relieved when he responds to their calls. Saul's grandmother arrives, and they all get into her car. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell if you want to watch more videos like this. Thank you for watching and see you again soon. Take care.